When it comes to handling taxes on freelance income in Denmark, clarity and structure are your best assets, both for staying compliant and for optimizing your financial position. In this video, we will walk through the essentials of how freelance income is treated, what you need to register, how to manage your deductions, and the practical steps to ensure you meet your obligations to SKAT, the Danish tax agency. Whether you are a full-time freelancer or simply supplementing your salary with side projects, the underlying principles remain the same. Understand how your income is categorized, keep thorough records, and plan ahead for the tax you will ultimately have to pay. The first key question is how your freelance activity is classified. In Denmark, freelance work can typically be treated either as personal income under your CPR number, often as so-called B income, or as business income if you operate a sole proprietorship or another business structure. Many new freelancers begin by invoicing as private individuals and reporting income as B income. This means tax is not withheld at source, unlike regular salary income, and you are personally responsible for both reporting and paying tax and labor market contributions. As your activity becomes more consistent and begins to resemble an ongoing business rather than occasional gigs, you will usually benefit from registering a sole proprietorship with a CVR number via Virk.dk. This allows you to separate business and personal finances more clearly and opens up more structured options for deducting relevant expenses. Regardless of the format, all freelance income is taxable and must be reported to SKAT. Denmark's tax system is primarily based on personal income tax, municipal tax, and labor market contributions, with additional top tax applying above certain income thresholds that are adjusted periodically. For freelance income reported as B income, you do not receive automatic withholding through an employer, so one of the most important disciplines is to set aside a portion of every payment you receive. A common practice is to reserve a percentage aligned with your expected marginal tax rate, often between 40 and 50% depending on your municipality, church tax, and whether you are close to the top tax threshold. This may sound conservative, but it cushions you against surprises when the tax bill arrives. To avoid a large one-time payment, you should adjust your preliminary income assessment, before skatteopgørelse, on skat.dk. Here you can enter your expected freelance income for the year and indicate relevant expenses. SKAT will then calculate what you should pay in tax on account, which can be divided into monthly or quarterly payments. Keeping this preliminary information updated throughout the year is one of the most effective ways to maintain control and avoid underpayment charges. At the same time, organized documentation is indispensable. You should maintain a clear separation between private and business-related transactions. Even if you are not legally required to have a separate bank account as a sole proprietor, doing so significantly simplifies your bookkeeping and makes it easier to substantiate your figures if SKAT requests documentation. Retain all invoices issued to clients, receipts for expenses, bank statements, and any contracts related to your freelance work. In Denmark, you are generally required to keep accounting records for several years, so think of this as building an auditable trail rather than doing the bare minimum. Deductions play a central role in determining how much tax you pay on your freelance income. Legitimate business expenses can be deducted from your taxable business profit, provided they are directly related to generating your freelance income. Common examples include a proportionate share of your home office costs if you work from home under specific conditions, work-related equipment such as laptops, software subscriptions, professional insurance, and certain travel costs directly linked to client work. If you use your car for business, you may be able to apply the standard mileage rates rather than actual costs, provided you meet the criteria and keep accurate driving logs. It is important, however, to distinguish clearly between private and business use. SKAT expects consistency and reasonable allocation. Overstating deductions or mixing private purchases as business expenses is a frequent source of disputes and can lead to reassessments and penalties. For some freelancers, especially in creative or digital sectors, revenue streams can include both Danish and foreign clients. Income from abroad is still taxable in Denmark if you are tax resident there, which generally means your primary home is in Denmark or you spend most of the year in the country. Double taxation agreements typically prevent you from being taxed twice on the same income, but you must still report foreign income correctly and, where applicable, claim relief according to the relevant tax treaty. Payments from foreign platforms, marketplaces, or agencies should be carefully documented, including payout reports and fee structures, so that both gross income and costs are traceable. When it comes to VAT, or MOMS, the rules introduce another layer of complexity. If your taxable turnover exceeds the VAT registration threshold, which is a defined amount per year set by Danish law, you must register for VAT and charge it on relevant supplies. Not all freelance services are subject to VAT, and cross-border B2B services within the EU follow specific place of supply rules, so it is important to determine whether your particular services fall within the VAT net. Once registered, you are obliged to submit VAT returns, typically quarterly, and pay any VAT due. You can usually deduct input VAT on business purchases, which makes accurate bookkeeping and invoice handling even more critical. Many new freelancers underestimate the administrative workload that comes with VAT and end up rushing near deadlines. Scheduling a recurring monthly review of your invoices and expenses can significantly reduce last-minute pressure. It is also worth noting that as a freelancer, you are responsible not only for your taxes but also for your social security planning. In Denmark, basic social security and health coverage are primarily funded through the tax system and labor market contributions, but items such as supplementary pension savings, unemployment insurance through an SKAT, and income protection are largely voluntary. When leaving traditional employment, the absence of an employer contribution to your pension and paid holiday allowance can create a future gap that only becomes visible after several years. Building pension contributions and buffer savings into your pricing and financial planning is therefore advisable from the outset, rather than viewing them as optional extras to be addressed later. From a practical standpoint, one of the most effective safeguards is to treat your freelance work as a proper business from day one, even if your revenue is still modest. This means establishing a basic accounting routine, such as updating a simple accounting system or spreadsheet weekly, reconciling your bank account, and keeping digital copies of all receipts. There are several accounting tools on the Danish market that integrate directly with your bank and SKAT.dk, making reporting more efficient and reducing the risk of manual errors. If your situation becomes more complex, for example due to rapid growth, multiple income streams, or cross-border activities, seeking advice from a state-authorized or registered public accountant with experience in small businesses can be a worthwhile investment rather than a cost. The guidance on structuring your activities, optimizing deductions, and complying with VAT and tax rules often pays for itself. Finally, handling taxes on freelance income in Denmark is significantly easier when you view it as an ongoing process rather than an annual event. Start by clarifying how your freelance work is classified, ensure you are registered correctly, update your forskudsopgørelse with realistic figures, set aside tax as you earn, and document every transaction in a disciplined way. Combine that with a deliberate approach to deductions, attention to VAT obligations if relevant, and a proactive stance on your own financial security, and you turn a potentially stressful administrative burden into a controlled, predictable part of running your freelance business. By applying these principles consistently, you position yourself not only to comply with Danish tax law, but also to build a sustainable, professional freelance career with fewer financial surprises and a stronger foundation for long-term growth.